feeling?
Pretty sore, but it'll be good. Just one of those things that, it's tender. I've dealt with rib injuries before, but rest and just as the week goes on, it always helps.
I know every rib injury is a little different with the location and things like that, but just how does that impact your ability to function as a quarterback?
Obviously didn't exactly test it out today. Just more mental reps for everybody, but yeah, just gonna see. Like I said, I haven't tested it out, so just got to get loose, and I'm sure by the time closer to game time, adrenaline will be rolling, especially with where we're sitting at right now situationally.
You wouldn't characterize it as any kind of setback or anything else since Sunday, just normal soreness?
Yeah, normal soreness just progresses throughout the week, and keep going.
Is there any doubt in your mind that you won't be out there Sunday?
I'll do everything I can to be out there, that's for sure. Division on the line, playoff hopes on the line, going back to Carolina, yeah, I'll do everything I can.
With your past injuries, though, with ribs, and again, I know every rib injury is a little different with the location, whether it's like anterior. What did you like when you kind of were dealing with that? Were there certain things that maybe were really uncomfortable, like just even the stretch, when you're got your arms stretched and you're making the throw?
Yeah, it's one of those things that you have to just constantly stay warm. You can't let it tighten up. You just gotta continually be loose, whether it's hot packs on the sideline, just making sure you get the extra work in, things like that. So every one of them's different, but yeah, especially for quarterback having to rotate to throw, just gotta stay loose.
They still have the old flak jacket available? Those things? I don't even know.
We'll see what we can do. Maybe Kevlar. We'll see.
Get some icy hots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll be ready to go.
They make those giant ones now too.
I don't want to be too puffy.
How much were you able to put last week's game in, mentally in the
Yeah.
past?
I mean, we're moving on to Carolina. Just we have to. This is for the division, and it doesn't change. Win loss. It's been the one game at a time mentality. And like we said after the game, we didn't show up and didn't play our best by any means. And so, got to come back with everything on the line. We got one opportunity to do it, and that's it.
The one thing that strikes me is how quick the NFL season, the finality of it, right? Whether you lose in the Super Bowl or the last game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You've kind of been through that on both spectrums where you've made the playoffs or not. Is that you get mindful of that when you get to this time of year? Do young players understand that you got to earn from here on out every week now?
That's something you try and teach the young guys, but until they're in it, they don't necessarily grasp it. And I can say that firsthand from the first time I went to the playoffs. And so, yeah, it's strange how it happens. You're playing for your job at that point for the next week, just for another opportunity. So it's a special atmosphere that it comes to be all about. And you have to appreciate it. You have to understand that, hey, when we get in this huddle, it could be our last time together. So we'll see. Just make it happen and make it count.
Baker, this team was able to win the must-win games in the division a couple weeks ago to keep you in this position. How much confidence does that give you to see what the team was able to do when your backs were up against the wall?
Yeah, I mean, we have a ton of confidence in ourselves, and that doesn't change with how we played Sunday. It's just a matter of us doing our job right, keeping the focus extremely small, doing little details right, and just knowing that this is our one opportunity to make the playoffs, and let's go do it.
Baker, you made the postseason before, played in those games. Obviously played in a lot of huge games at Oklahoma. When you have a game of this magnitude, does the approach change at all, even leading up to the day of the game, or you try to just keep it as similar as possible?
You try and keep it as similar as possible, because as soon as you try and do too much, that's when things go wrong. So it goes back to the mentality that we had, everybody just doing your job. You're 1/11th when you're on the field and trying to execute the best you can, and good things will happen. So that needs to be the mentality, and it's playoff teams and the great teams are the ones who don't mess up. And so that's an extremely high level of focus on your job at hand, even if it's the simplest play that you've done over and over all season. So it's the focus in the little details, and so you can't change your approach on that.
Coming down to the last week now, having played all of these teams multiple times, does it surprise you at all that 75% of this division is still up for a playoff spot?
No, it's just that's kind of how it happens at this point. Everybody being similar records, and it's just. You just fight to get a chance to get in, and so that's where we're at right now, and obviously so are other teams, but we just got to handle our business and knowing what's at stake, that we control our own destiny.
Just to clarify, is it sore ribs? I know originally after the game you said it didn't show any breaks or cracks. Did you have any other testing done? Or
We had a couple more, but yeah, no cracks, no fractures, so that's good news. So it's just general soreness and pain tolerance as the week goes on.
I know you're on to Carolina, but is there a takeaway from the Saints game when watching the film that you're able to carry over into this week that maybe when looking back on it, there's a reason why things were so disjointed in that contest?
Between the little details and the lack of physicality, I think I had mentioned that after the game. We didn't play how we had been the past few weeks on all fronts of the ball, so got to fix that. And that's just, like I said, focus on the details, doing your job the best you can, and handle it.
There's going to be Pro Bowl voting. It'll be announced tonight. So much of that, right, is fans and popularity and stuff. But you got a couple guys I would think on offense. Can you just speak to the years that Mike and Tristan has had?
Yeah. Tristan made the transition to left tackle, which is obviously hadn't played left tackle. So for him to do it at that level he's done just speaks to the special talent that he really is. Still a young guy that's going to keep improving. Somebody that we're lucky to have blocking our blind side. And then obviously, Mike leads the NFL in touchdowns at an age where people said he was going to have declining talents, but that hasn't shown. So we've been lucky to have both those guys, and obviously got a couple of guys on defense as well. Got Antoine, Levante. We have a special group and guys that deserve a lot of recognition. So this is the time of year that our guys are going to step up in this playoff push, and so hopefully they get the recognition they deserve. But they know inside this building they're appreciated.
I know it's not time yet to eulogize this season, and there will be time for that, but just what's this opportunity you here meant for you? Being able to show people, hey, this is what I'm capable of, and having a locker room that's embraced you the way it has, the organization.
Yeah, it's meant the world to me just to be able to be in a stable place, to be the best version of myself to what they've enabled me to do, and just to do that. And that, like you said, it mentions the organization, the staff, our locker room. It's just a special place, so I've truly appreciated it. And I hope the guys know that. I try and reflect that with just who I am every day, coming to work, bringing energy and passion to it. So it's been great for me, but, yeah, not done yet.
Would you have been able to have the success that you had here if it wasn't for having 13 out there?
No. I mean, we got a bunch of guys that have contributed to my individual success between line, protection guys with its tight ends, running backs picking it up, everybody making the plays. So that's why it's the greatest team sport ever. Guys get recognized for individual accolades and games, but it's the greatest team sport. So I appreciate all my teammates and everybody that's helped us get this far, but we're not done yet.
Speaking about Mike a little bit more, he had a phenomenal game the last meeting with the Panthers. Does he just match up well with what they do defensively, or is he just up at that level that he can have a breakout game, a phenomenal game against anybody?
A little bit of both. They do run some, different coverages to where he gets one-on-one situations, and he's a guy that when he's one-on-one, we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to look for those shots to him, and so he's always ready for those moments as well. But it doesn't matter what's going on; he's going to be ready for it. But yeah, we're gonna take our opportunities when we get them.
Trey Palmer really stepped up last. He had his career day, I guess you'd say. But then, just the awful, hey, great catch, looks like a touchdown, oops, turnover deal. So how's a young guy bounce back from that? And do you see him going forward as somebody that could make some big plays for you guys? Yeah,
his speed naturally is going to be able to make a huge difference in the game. So teams are going to have to respect that. It's an unfortunate play. The ground causing the fumble. It's one of those that you're like, hey, great play on the ball. Next time, maybe roll over, but it's in the moment. It just kind of summed up how the day went for us overall, and just pat him on the back and move on. And we expect him to have those types of games and those types of plays and finish it.
With some of the kind of ball security issues, the bobbled catches and things like that you guys had against the Saints, you had mentioned that the Saints did a really good job of disrupting your timing on offense. Is that kind of a product of that, or is that more about concentration and maybe just being a little bit more locked into the details like you talked about?
A little bit of both. Got to do all the little things right, whether it's looking the ball all the way in through the catch. But the Saints matched up physically, and they played physical, so they were going to mess up the timing. That was their game plan. And, so going into this week, that's pretty much how the Panthers played us at home last time too. They were physical. Obviously, it was a little bit wet with the rain, but we were going to expect statistically they're a great defense, and they played really well against the rush and pass. And so we got to be ready for a show. We got to be ready to show up and play our best game.
Baker, considering your injury, maybe Kyle Trask is going to get a couple more reps this week. Just what has it been like working with him throughout the season?
It's been great. Like I said, in the offseason, I think we both pushed each other to be better. And just to see him, how locked in he's been, from being in Carolina last year and having to sit in the backup role and then inactive, it's tough to stay locked in. We're not necessarily getting the reps, but he's back there doing everything he needs to do. And just the constant communication in the QB room also helps. And, yeah, he's never wavered on that. He's ready to go whenever he gets a shot.
Do you have any idea if you'll practice tomorrow?
We'll see how it feels tomorrow. Honestly, it's one day at a time right now. But like I said, a lot of it's going to be mental reps and seeing what I can do. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.